For many working moms with toddlers at home, the juggle is real. And our next guest, mommy blogger Kristin Malta, has some tips for moms and dads to create some independent toddler time. So Kristin, I understand you have 3 kids under 4 there with you. So how are you getting anything done right now?
For me personally, I really value what's called toddler independent time. And this really helps me so I can get really anything done at this point. And it's also important for your child to foster opportunities to do simple tasks on their own, right? So by allowing your child to really become more independent, you may actually find that power struggle starts to decrease. And this is also because your child feels more in control of what's going on around them. And it can really help to actually cut down on some of those toddler tantrums that I'm sure all of us would love.
What kind of preparation do parents need to be thinking about to prepare for toddler independent time?
Let's think about play as your child's work, right? So for example, when my younger 2 are napping, luckily every afternoon at the same time, I like to set up my son's office, his workspace, right? His play space. So he can work while mommy works. And what's great about the toddler age is they also love that imitation aspect to it.
Well, I like this. I like a couple of things you just said, Chris. Number one is that creating a safe space is so important, that you have to feel comfortable that when you do leave them alone, that they can't get into a dangerous situation. And what type of quote unquote work can kids do in these spaces that you've created for them?
Yep. So one of my favorites is actually creating sensory bins. And that's kind of, a term you might have heard before. And really sensory bins promote activities where toddlers can scoop, pour, and dump. And this is great for the age range. So the wonderful thing about this is you probably have most of these objects lying around your house. And some benefits of sensory play actually include building nerve connections in the brain, developing motor skills, and also encouraging that scientific thinking and problem solving, which is really critical for this age group. But the most important thing is that it's child driven. So you want to make sure the child is directing the play, right? They're imagining the situation and then determining the task.
What I love about what you're saying, Kristin, is that it actually has a lot of the elements of a very scientific form of therapy called parent-child interaction therapy, where there's distinct phases where the parents are directing the task and then the child's directing the task the rest of the time. And here you're teaching the child to be more independent, but as a parent, I would imagine that sometimes you're walking around just briefly observing and supervising your child, and you can comment on how well they're doing directing their own tasks, thinking up imaginative things to do. And I think that that's so wonderful for the child's development. And I love this next tip, which is that parents can set up something for their children called circuit play. And it actually is kind of a play on what some adults do when they work out. So tell me how they do this.
Absolutely. So you probably know that term, circuit training, especially is exactly what adults do when they're training in the gym. And that's the idea that every couple of minutes you change your focus. And this is great for toddlers because, as a lot of us know, their attention span on activities is roughly 8 to 9 minutes. So when we introduce this concept of time associated with a task, I want you to do this. Set up a timer, a 10-minute timer, and different play stations. We love to do building blocks, maybe arts and crafts. We love to decorate some wooden picture frames, and then you can repurpose those for family gifts when the holidays come around or birthdays. And then maybe a puzzle station. And then every 10 minutes when the timer goes off, your child can rotate to the next station. And what's also great about this is you want to always use that positive reinforcement, exactly what you were just talking about, and making it like a checkpoint for your child, always making sure you're repeating back what they just accomplished on their own.
Kristin Malta, thanks for all your great tips. I'm sure that it's going to help a lot of families out there. For more information, visit our website at thedoctorstv.com.